Hello traders, my name is Blake Morrow with ForexAnalytix, and you are listening to the week ahead video for September 17th, 2017. I hope everybody's having a great weekend and hope that you had a great trading week last week. I'll tell you what, if you were long the cable, which a lot of us were, you did have a good week last week, at least in those trades. But before I get into the market and what had happened this week, let's talk about something special that's happening at ForexAnalytix this week that's coming up. We have a special offer, which I'm not going to announce here on this video, but you should listen to the FACE webinar this week and listen to Dale Pinkert as he explains to you guys what special enrollment deal we have for the new season, new trading season, as we go into the end of the year. It's an exciting package, and we're going to be adding a live chat room to our services, which has actually been running as a private chat room for the last year, but we're opening it up to certain subscribers. So to get more details and more information, make sure you listen to the webinar or follow us on Twitter, because you will get a lot of those details early next week. Now, I'm going to take you over to the analysis page of ForexAnalytix, but I want to talk about the cable because the pound was so bonkers strong this week, but we've come up to some really major levels in the pair. And let's take a look at the pound and take a look at the daily chart. You'll notice that we hit the 161% extension on the pound dollar. Now, what's also very important is look at this red trend line. This is pre-Brexit trend line. So you're talking about the top or the highs of 2014 connected with that very spike high just before Brexit was announced that night, and to where we're at right now currently. We basically stopped there. Now, the question that you might ask me is, are we done going higher? I doubt it. The pound looks extremely strong, but I will tell you this much. I personally wouldn't be buying the pound up here after relative strength is as overbought as it is. You can see how overbought it is, okay, compared to where we've been in the past. I think you want to be a buyer on dips, but that doesn't mean it won't continue to go higher. It can. This has been an explosive move that has caught a lot of traders off guard. Like I said, if you were listening to this video last week, all you had to be was short the euro pound, which I was, and I know many traders were, which as you can see, we broke through this channel support, and the euro pound just completely capitulated to the downside. I don't like to use that term capitulation because I don't even know if it's over yet, but I'll tell you, we are getting a little oversold in the euro pound, and the pound crosses in general look very overbought because this was such a dynamic move. Now, we ended up the week at the highs for the cable. I mean, any which way you look at it. I mean, you look at the pound yen. I mean, this has been an explosive move. We're stopping at the 38% retracement of the 2015 highs in the pound yen to the lows following Brexit. We're at the 38% retracement. We closed at our highs on the cable, which means Sunday, Monday, the pound may have a little bit more follow through as traders look around this weekend and go, oh my God, the pound is so strong. I need to go ahead and cover or get long or whatever the case may be. So we may have some bullishness of the pound right at the beginning of the week, but I would be skeptical, and I am skeptical of chasing it higher at this point. I am a buyer on dips if the pound does pull back, but going back to the pound dollar, I'm thinking, okay, yeah, this would be great if the pound dollar actually pulls back to like 134, but is that wishful thinking? It might just be wishful thinking. I like to imagine things are going to happen in the market, and that's how I try to develop a plan when I trade, but that doesn't mean that it happens. Matter of fact, a lot of things that I hope happens, they never transpire. But in this case, I do hope the pound pulls back because I do want to rebuy it, as I'm not long the pound anymore. I was long going into this last week, and I took profits all week long, and it was a great week. And I hope those of you that were on this train with me, I hope you guys did well as well. All right, now let's turn our attention over to, I'm going to take you really quick over to the euro dollar. I mean, the euro dollar is range bound, but we're following this nice little trend line higher. You can see, the trend line's been very well respected here. And so any dip towards 118, it's going to be very critical for the bulls to hold. Now that takes me over to the dollar index, because I do want to talk about the dollar. And even though I didn't do this analysis on this particular chart, you can see we have a little descending wedge, but this relative strength is divergent. You can see that it's divergent, and the risk of a move higher is there. And I'm looking at it, and the charts that I have are slightly different. As most of you know, I do a lot of the technical analysis, but I don't do it all. On ForexAnalytix, we switch off every other day, so you get different opinions of what's happening. But myself and the team, we usually look at the markets pretty much the same. But what I will share with you is the dollar index has this nice little down channel. We respected the 618. You can see the 618 retracement right here. We respected that today, and we really need to see a break above Thursday. That would be Thursday's highs. On this is a continuous index, but really we just need to break last Thursday's highs, and if we break that, the dollar index is probably going to be in for a squeeze higher. But until that point in time, the dollar index is lower and the trend is lower, and we haven't seen, other than possibly putting in a higher low, we haven't seen any signs of a reversal yet. And I've been trying to argue this point for the last couple of weeks, and you've probably heard me every week on this video tell you I don't know why the dollar would reverse. I'm trying to figure it out. I'm trying to find some reason to be a buyer of dollars, and the only thing that I can see right now, and it's starting to show and rear its ugly head, I say ugly, it depends on how you're looking at it, is take a look at bonds. Bonds are breaking lower, and we broke out of this up channel that we had. We had this false breakout. You can see on the weekly charts, we had this nice little false breakout here last week, and we've reversed. And because we've reversed and we're pushing lower, that means bonds are going down, yields are going up. And if yields are rising, that typically in the bond market, the US bond market, if yields are rising, that typically is very supportive of the dollar. Now, again, fundamentally, I look around and say, oh, I don't know why I'd be really buying dollars right now, but the correlations are starting to fall in line with the bond market. And if you look at gold, for example, gold is stalled. The rally that we've seen in gold, it's stalled, and gold might come back down and test 1300. Well, if gold tests 1300 and bonds continue to fall, that is just a tailwind for the US dollar. Do I think the US dollar is ready to reverse and do a full-on reversal and head back to highs? No, I don't. But could we have a recovery rally in the dollar? Is that entirely possible? It is. And as you can see, the dollar index has been beat up pretty extensively. I wouldn't be surprised to see a week or two, or maybe even three, of a recovery in the dollar index from these levels. Again, is it going to reverse course completely? We'd have to see economic data really start to improve in the U.S. and we've seen some pretty disappointing data. But despite the disappointing data that we've seen this week in the U.S., especially like some of the industrial production numbers and the inflation data is starting to improve, and the dollar is really holding up fairly well despite some of the weaker data that we've seen, and that's good. That's good news for the dollar. That means that the dollar might be a little oversold at this point. But like I said, is it a long-term reversal in the dollar? It's doubtful. I really don't see it at this point. But sometimes it is hard to see the forest behind the trees that are right in front of you. Next week should be a really good week for trading. We're slowly getting back to full liquidity in the markets. We do have the FOMC meeting on Wednesday, which will be very important. And so if we see any shift in the Fed, or if the Fed really tells us that maybe another rate hike is coming this year, and maybe they're a little bit more hawkish than the market expects. Maybe that's what signals a turn in the dollar mid next week. But the FOMC is really the key to next week. And also for those of you that are trading the New Zealand dollar, keep in mind the New Zealand elections are going to be next weekend. I believe on the 23rd, and the New Zealand dollar had a surprising rally on Friday. But if you look at the longer term structure of the New Zealand dollar, the symmetry still has a head and shoulder pattern. It's possible that the New Zealand dollar actually turns lower at this point. So watch the New Zealand elections going into next weekend. It should be an important driver for the Kiwi, for those of you that trade the New Zealand dollar. So guys and gals, this has been your week ahead video. I hope you guys had a great trading week last week. I hope you have a great or even better trading week this week. Remember, listen to the face webinars, the face webinars with every day with Dale Pinkert. We are going to be announcing our beginning of the trading season special, and it's a really wonderful special for those of you that aren't current ForexAnalytix subscribers. And make sure you like this video. Click on that little thumb button, the up button on YouTube, and make sure you subscribe to our channel. This way you'll always have our videos right in front of you. And also don't forget to download the mobile app for ForexAnalytix on the Google Play Store and the App Store. All right, guys and gals, have a great trading week. This is Blake Morrow. You're listening to the Week Ahead video. Thank you very much.